Good morning, everyone. My name is Terry Cook. I'm coming to you from the beautiful city of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's beautiful here today, September 2024. Are you a parent, a grandparent, maybe a great grandparent? Are you an uncle or an aunt, maybe a godparent? Or are you someone that really wants to make a difference in someone's life? And today, what I'd like to do is to just visit with you about some ideas on how to give and how to gift. Today, I want to talk to you about the perpetual multi-generational gift. And we'll get into more detail over the next few minutes as we visit together. Um, it can be a challenge on knowing how to give, how to gift. And today, we want to have a discussion about that. Just a little bit about my background. I've been in the financial services for over 40 years. I've helped a lot of people learn how to give and be able to achieve their goals and their desires on giving to their heirs. I'm a CLU CHFC from the American College. I have a bachelor's degree. Been married for 43 years to Anita. I'm a parent and a grandparent to 9, and it's very important for me that I be able to give something to my grandchildren and my children if something happens to me. It's also important to my wife. I love to golf. I love to eat. I've coached a lot of baseball, a lot of basketball. I like to write, like going to the beach. And I'm a super fan of the Carolina Panthers, which this year, 2024, is an awful year to be a Carolina Panther fan. I'm a Tar Heel fan, basketball fan, and a BYU football fan. Our goals today is to discuss some ideas on gifting or passing some of your assets to those you love. Maybe the best way to do that. We want to discuss some of the challenges in giving. I know that sometimes people wonder how they can give, what is the best way to give, what is the best gift to give? Do we give cash? Do we give land? And so we want to be able to discuss some ideas on giving today. We want to discuss some of the proven strategy. One proven strategy, like we've talked about, is the perpetual multi-generational plan, and we'll go into detail on that today. We want to maximize the efficiency of every single dollar that we give. We want to minimize taxes if possible, and we want our gift to be meaningful and thoughtful. If possible, we'd like our gifts, most of the people that I work with want our gifts to be multi-generational, meaning that we're not only protecting one generation, but we're protecting generations to come if possible. And we'll show you some ideas on how you can do that today. We want to kind of show you maybe a different way to take a look at gifting and giving. And I ask, please, that you be open-minded about this because I think you'll like what you see. So what is the perpetual multi-generational gift? Like it says in this title, a perfect gift is something that gifts in perpetuity, meaning that it keeps on giving forever. And I think that that we can accomplish that. And it's also multi-generational, meaning that maybe you'll be able to give and continue giving to perhaps those you have not met. Like I said, a gift that keeps on giving. Obviously, we can give and it can be depleted, but I think all of us would agree that the best gift is to give a gift that continues to give in perpetuity. We're going to talk about a privatized banking system today. Like I have stated down on the bottom, I'm not talking about a personal bank that's chartered by a government, state government or federal government, but a banking system that banks have been using to make trillions and trillions of dollars over the years. And we want to show you how you can turn that around and be able to capture some of that money that maybe you're giving to the banks and be able to bypass and show your heirs, teach those that you love how to be able to capture some of that money. And so we're going to be talking about a privatized banking system that has been making the banks trillions of dollars. and hopefully show your heirs how to be able to use those concepts to benefit them and not the banks. Let's talk about a meaningful gift, meaning of the ways that we give. Obviously, there's emotional gifting. We want to be able to give and gift. Lessons of life is extremely important. I think my grandchildren are tired of hearing me, but I'm always trying to teach them um, lessons of life, lessons that I've learned the hard way, unfortunately. Hopefully, they don't have to learn the hard way. We want to give meaningful and thoughtful gifts. We give by our example on our lives that we have, by our actions. Um, we also give by the words that we speak. Maybe we can give in letters that we write. My grandparents had a journal, and I enjoy reading that from time to time. And so there's lots of ways to give. We give by our love. Um, Yesterday we took a grandson to the Panthers game, and I was able to have my arm around him, and so we also give by the love that we share. There's also financial for everyone. We can't overlook this, how we give financially, and we're going to be talking about that today. Kind of the basics of giving. Um, Usually, or most of the time, it's impossible um, to spend every penny that we have. Hopefully, that this doesn't happen before we graduate into the next life. Unless we die penniless, none of us want to do that. All of us have a will, whether that we know it or not. If we don't have a basic will, the government will make one for us. Probate, when we pass away, that's the process of settling our estate. That can be very expensive. And we advise that all of our clients sit down with an estate planning professional, an estate planning attorney, usually an elder attorney, and plan their estate so they can perhaps avoid some of these very costly things that we could possibly pass on to our heirs. And I've known a lot of people that have come to me and said, hey, I'm in probate and it's very expensive and very time consuming. And so, we want to, that's part of the giving process is to make sure that we make things as easy as possible. And so we recommend that you sit down with professionals. The estate and inheritance taxes are starting to come back. The government's looking for money, and so we want to visit with people about that. Um, Sometimes passing on a large lump sum may not be the best way to pass on our gifts. Sometimes, giving a large lump sum maybe isn't good for people that haven't matured lately. Um, and a lot of people want to be able to start giving now. They want to be able to start providing maybe for their grandchildren's education or help them out in ways while they're still living. And so we want to discuss that today. And we also want to talk about, I know a lot of people have some qualified money in their 401k that they plan on passing, and sometimes that's not the best way. And for example, if I pass on 401k money, my son, who's very successful in his line of work, he'll have to pay that at his tax bracket. But I have some other presentations on that. But we want to talk about kind of the basics of giving and make sure that we have our bases covered. Some of the challenges in giving is that sometimes when we give, it's depleted or blown away. I call it, our heirs may blow the money quickly. And of course, that doesn't bless their lives if they just go out and blow it. Another challenge that our heirs don't really understand how money works. They don't understand. I mean, there's a lot of roadblocks and a lot of hurdles, a lot of challenges, and they're really not taught in school or in college on exactly how money works. There's the worldview of money is that you spend, 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 and pay interest. I think it's important. I've tried to teach my children and my grandchildren nothing is free. Even if they have money, that they have a responsibility to bless others in their life. We've already talked about the pressure to spend and buy and finance. And so what we want to do is to maybe show our heirs and teach our heirs and those that we love of of possibly another way that they can look at their money. Let's get right into a sample case here today. Again, this is a sample case. This is a grandmother and grandfather, age 70 and 71. They have a grandchild, Jolene. I have a granddaughter, Jolene, so I love that name. And they've indicated that they want to gift Jolene anywhere between $40,000 and $50,000. They're not sure exactly, but that's the ballpark that they want to do. And they want to, this is the amount of money that they want to be able to gift dear Jolene. Their goals are quite lofty. When we talk about goals, I've talked to a lot of clients, and they have a lot of goals that they want to be able to do with this $40,000 or $50,000. And but they've indicated that they would really love to be able to have some educational funds available for Jolene if she wants to go to college. They want to be able to have emergency funds available for her in case she needs something for an emergency. They want to be able to benefit her and hopefully be able to benefit her for her entire lifetime. And of course, if they help her get a college education, that will benefit her for a lifetime. But there are other ways that you can do that in addition to paying for a college education. They would like the funds to not be depleted, if possible, to not just have them go away, but to have funds available for her entire lifetime. They would like Jolene to be able to have access and liquidity to these funds so that maybe she can do some meaningful purchases that she'll need in her life. They'd like her to have some tax advantages. They'd like her to be able to have some living benefits if possible, if something happens to her. You know, sometimes children need something that for health reasons that insurance doesn't pay. If possible, they would like Jolene to be able to use these gifts and have this gift be multi-generational, where she can pass this on to her heirs as well. If possible, they've also indicated that they would like this gift to be able to provide some supplemental retirement income. You know, Jolene's young. There's a long time between now and when she retires. But if possible, they would like this $40,000 to $50,000 to provide her some supplemental income. And again, they don't want to just be depleted or blown. Something that's extremely important for them is safety and guarantees. They're not interested at this point in speculation or risk, but they want to make sure that this money is safe and guaranteed. And we've discussed this a little, but they want to be able to bless her life in perpetuity. And it is possible to give, kind of like the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts, and to provide a gift that will continue giving throughout her life and beyond. Most important to them, what maybe not the most important, but equally important for the grandparents in this situation, is to have Jolene learn, hopefully, the importance of the value of money and to learn how money works. It's a big part of our life, and they want Jolene to be able to learn the value of money and the best way to handle her money. What we did after consultation, again, this is a sample case, is we took $41,000 and they purchased a 10-year 10-pay whole life policy with an A-plus company that's been around for 125 years. They put that into a premium deposit account that would pay $5,000 a year for 10 years. So they didn't pay $5,000 for 10 years. They wanted to pay it up front, and the insurance company gives you a discount. And to be able to pay that $5,000 for 10 years required a one-time lump sum of $41,267. And so let's go to the next slide and just see if we're able to meet their needs. First of all, that $41,000, as you remember, number one on their list was to be able to provide Jolene with educational funds available. This $41,000 will provide Jolene if she needs, and I'm not one that college is for everyone, but if she needs money at that age for college or whatever, there's $75,000 available. So that $41,000 has grown to $75,000, which is a pretty good rate of return without risk. There's emergency funds available in case she needs it. $55,000, that's just an example in the 10th year when she's 10 years old. She has access and liquidity for this for meaningful purchases her whole life. There are a lot of tax advantages to this. We don't want to get into detail, and you can talk about this with a tax professional, but we'll also have some training on this. There's living benefits for unforeseen reasons her whole lifetime in case something happens to her. Yes, we're able to provide living benefits, and we'll go into that just not in depth, but kind of give you a 10,000-foot view of some benefits that are available through her policy. This has legacy. This is multi-generational. This can bless Jolene in perpetuity, like I said, like some of the wealthy families have, even for the $41,000. At retirement, if Jolene does this the right way and she can, use these funds and then pay them back because she knows the value of money, at retirement at age 67 or 70, which is her retirement age, there will be $750,000 of cash available for her. And going up to the previous point, at age 67, there will be $1 million if something were to happen to Jolene. There's $1 million that she can pass along to her heirs and the people that she loves. Safety and guarantees, they thought this was extremely important. And yes, this is safe. This is guaranteed. This is where the banks put their safe money. This can bless Jolene's heirs in perpetuity, meaning that it can go on for generations of time. This does teach Jolene the value of money, and we'll get into that and show you exactly how this works. But this is not all. Do you remember that we put in $41,000? To me, this is like the goose that lays the golden egg. It continues to give. And so let's get into depth. I think we've already been able to accomplish a lot of things that Jolene wanted to accomplish. We've been able to meet all of the grandparents' goals. Have been able to provide for retirement. Like I said, $41,000. She has, $75,000 at college age, $750,000 at retirement if she wants. She has liquidity to it. But there's more. And did you know that you can help Jolene take advantage of banking concepts that have been making the banks trillions and trillions of dollars without having to set up a state-approved, government-approved, state-chartered, and bricks and mortar building? And this is what we talked about, and this is what this gift will do. We'll be able to, through this gift, be able to help Jolene take advantage and save money and be able to make the money that the banks maybe would be making on her during her lifetime. We'll go to this next slide. Did you know that according to AARP, that most every individual in this life will pay $600,000 in interest over their lifetime? And one of the gifts that we want to give to Jolene is to be able to teach her how to be able to not pay this out to the banks and institutions, but to be able to provide a banking concept for her where she will have a sum of money that she can pay for purchases that she needs, but instead of paying other people, she can recapture this in her personalized banking concept. A wonderful, wonderful gift. The perpetual multi-generational gift is a privatized banking system that will provide financing needs for her during her lifetime. It'll help Jolene avoid paying interest to financial institutions, possibly saving her, like we mentioned, hundreds of thousands of dollars in wealth transfer. When we pay interest to others, or when Jolene pays interest to others in her lifetime, she will transfer her wealth. And if you've helped her, she will transfer your wealth, which is something that the grandparents wanted to avoid. Now, it's important to teach Jolene that she must treat this like a bank, like her banking concept, like her own privatized banking. And when she takes a loan from this, that she pay this back just as if she were going to the bank on the street corner. Instead, she's the bank. She's the banking concept again, not a federally funded bank, but she has her privatized banking concept that she can borrow money from, and there are a lot of advantages to this. Let's look at what this capital, this banking concept will do for Jolene. First of all, we've already established that there's $71,000 for Jolene. Most people, when they go to college, they have to take a loan and then they have to pay that back. So here, there's 70 some odd thousand dollars. I think at age 19, there's almost $80,000. And so that's available for Jolene. And if she needs that money, she can take a loan from it. But then it's in her best interest, because this is her privatized bank, to be able to pay that back. At age 30, there's $125,000 of money available. At age 40, $200,000, over $200,000. Maybe they want to buy a second home, and this would be a down payment where they can get the banks out. At age 50, there's $317,000. At this point, maybe she has her own children that they're sending to college. Maybe they want to pay their mortgage off and get the bank out of their life. At age 60, there's $502,000 available to Jolene, again for that $41,000. And at age 70, there's $821,000 from this $41,000 that you've given to Jolene, that you've gifted to Jolene. Take a look at those numbers again. I mean, for a $41,000 gift, that's a lot of money. And again, we want to teach Jolene the value of money, the value of finance, the value of being able to borrow money and have her be the bank and have her be able to capture the interest on that instead of giving that out to the banks. Let's look at how this works. I know this may look like an EKG, but it's really not. I did this on purpose. But this green line right here represents the cash in her privatized life insurance policy, privatized banking concept. Not a real bank, but a privatized banking concept. These red lines here show loans that she may take from her bank. And so right here, she takes a loan, she pays it back. Here she takes another loan, she pays it back. Here she takes a loan maybe at age 40, she pays it back. This loan right here shows that maybe she's taking a little longer. It's her bank, she can set her own terms to it. The most important part of this slide right here is this green line. And you'll notice that when she takes loans from this, that her banking, the life insurance cash value does not go down. And there are a lot of planners that teach this the wrong way. You can never take a loan from a whole life policy. The whole life policy continues to grow. This green line continues to grow even when she has loans out uninterrupted. That's a banking secret. So yes, she's being charged an interest rate on this, but her money inside her privatized life insurance policy that she's using as a banking concept is continuing to grow uninterrupted. And that's one of the reasons that this $41,000 grows so rapidly. And this is one of the reasons, I mean, if you take a look at this, this is where banks put a lot of their money too. But you can see this green line, even though when she takes the loans out, her money is still working for her. Okay, it's called uninterrupted interest. And this $800,000 over here, again, for the $41,000 that the grandparents so graciously gifted her, if she uses this the right way and uses this for her financing needs, and everyone will need, that's a fact of life. A lot of people say a fact of life is taxes. Well, a fact of life is we probably need financing needs in our life, and the best way to do that is to self-finance those and be able to have a vehicle where even when you're taking loans, you're still getting interest on that. This is awesome. This is wonderful. Excuse me for getting so excited, but this is one of the banking secrets. This is why some of the wealthy families are wealthy. This is a gift that you can give Jolene. It's teaching her the value of money. It's teaching her that nothing is free. It's teaching her to take loans, pay herself back, and how to create wealth, not only for her, but for generations to come. And and again, we want to bless Jolene's life. The grandparents wanted to bless Jolene's life, multi-generational and also in perpetuity. Let's just briefly go over the living benefits. Jolene has a chronic illness in year one, and you'll need to check your policy for the exact benefits on this. But basically, this is the activities of daily living. But in year one, there's $60,000 available if Jolene needed to have um, some type of heart transplant, or I don't like talking about things, but we do need to plan for the unforeseen. At age 65, there's $729,000. The best time to plan for unforeseen things that may happen in the future is now. And as young as you are, and what you're doing is you're helping Jolene plan for unforeseen health challenges that may come to her over her lifetime. Look at age 70, she's got $875,000 in a benefit there should she need some type of help. This is a specific illness. Get a drink here. Specific illness. And in your policy, it'll outline 9 specific illnesses that can happen. But look at this at age 65. This is like a heart bypass. This is like certain kinds of cancer that will be here in addition to the health insurance that she has. This is the life insurance part of Jolene's life. At age 50, this policy will grow to over $600,000. At age 70, this policy will grow to over 1.1 million. At age 80, this policy, if something happens to Jolene at that point, she'll be able to pass on $1.4 million to her heirs. Again, what we're trying to plan for is a blessing that will bless Jolene's life in perpetuity and also be multi-generational. We want this to be meaningful. We want it to be thoughtful. We want to not only bless Jolene's life, but we want to bless those we have not met. Where to start? I know this has been brief. It was meant to be brief. Um, the first thing you need to decide if you want to give, who you want to give to. Um, it really doesn't matter the amount that you want to start at, and I mean that sincerely. I think it's important to start somewhere if you want to give to someone that you love. Um, like I say, start somewhere. Um, we are experts in teaching you ways to be able to give to those that you love. We give a complimentary consultation. I think it's important that you sit down with a qualified advisor that not only understands that you want to give, but also understand that you want to give multi-generationally. And with people that I work with, I only want to work with clients that are interested in helping people out in generations to come. A lot of advisors concentrate on rate of return, and I love rate of return. I'm not saying anything against that, but we want to build generational wealth. That's my goal, is to build generational wealth for generations to come. I personally believe that we're going to be facing some challenges in the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. That's a long time. And if there was any possible way that I could be able to help the people that I love, the people that you love, multi-generational, wouldn't that be a wonderful gift to give? We also want you to do your homework, go to your advisors. Um, we don't force anyone, we don't high pressure anyone. We advise, we give information out. Thank you for your time today. I know this was brief. We can go into this into more detail. I wish each of you that have watched this video my sincere that you have joy and happiness in your life, that you can give and gift thoughtfully and with meaning in your life. Here's my contact information right here. I would welcome anyone that would love to have a phone conversation or a Zoom meeting or a one-on-one meeting. I love being able to help people, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your time.